Franklin County Courthouse. This is the oldest, no, I take that back. It's the second oldest building we'll stop at. It was built in 1901. It's actually patterned after St. Peter's Basilica out of Rome. Y'all heard of the lynching of Jesse Washington? So you have, this is where that happened. It's actually the lynching that made all lynchings illegal going forth. So Jesse Washington happened May 11th, 1916. He was a 17-year-old black male, and he was charged with raping and killing his plantation owner's wife. There was a 53-year-old white lady named Lucy Fryer. And so they brought him to his trial, and it was a jury of 12 white men, and they decided in 4 minutes of deliberation that he was guilty. 4 minutes. And so at the time when they were going through this trial, and beforehand, there were mobs of about 15,000 people that were being created. We'll walk down a little further, right outside of the courthouse. So after those 4 minutes of deliberation, they brought him out, and they didn't even take him to the jail and put him in handcuffs. They just handed him over to the mobs. So it's really brutal. They ended up wrapping a big heavy chain around his neck, and they dragged him all the way down this street and back. So it was a street at the time, and by the time they had gotten back, these mobs of people had taken a bunch of dry goods boxes and lit them with coal fire, and they hung him in a tree and dropped him down and back up slowly until the corpse burned. So with that being said, it's very gruesome. But there was a photographer here in Waco at the time, and the reason he got big is because he took pictures of this event and he made postcards out of them. And it's awful. You can see it kind of on the postcard where it says, "This is the barbecue we had last week." It's really bad. But I do have pictures if you want to see them. You want to see them?
No.
You do?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I'll show you. I always tell it, that's what I try to tell people. It's gruesome, so if you don't want to see it, I completely understand. But they are in the Texas records, so here's the one that's not a postcard, it's just a picture after, immediately following. It's really bad. So at the top is the body, and then it kind of, sometimes I can read it and sometimes it's bad. I see the barbecue and then last night, so you can kind of see it. It's not a super great resolution. But with that being said, a very traumatic event did happen here on this property, and a lot of places, it's a paranormal theory that there can be trauma energies just from things that stick around whenever super bad events happen. So we have used the spirit box here before. We don't think we've ever actually talked to Jesse Washington, but we have picked up some voices. I picked up one that was Layla last time, over and over again. But they actually brought him out of a side door. They didn't bring him out of this front door, so we can see it as we walk down. Sometimes we get EMF readings here too. I don't know if you really usually can.
Can we go to the back door?
Yeah, we'll go walk down. And even if we don't get anything, it's cool to see. Just